Hello world, happy Wednesday. Woo! Who's gonna join me? I got a hot download for you. For those of you tuning in straight away from the beginning, that were here from the beginning, throw up a hashtag replay. Let me know you were here while we wait for some people to join us. I'm literally in the car right now driving home, and I just had this download coming through, and I absolutely just had to hop on here and share it. So we're gonna chat. So I want to talk to you all about this amazing bit of information that is coming through, that is powering through right now, and it is the release of this warrior martyr false template that we have been so coded with throughout history, right? Throughout humanity. Hey, Lauren. Hey, everybody who's just tuning in. And it's this bit, because I was sitting here, right? And I was driving, and I was kind of like feeling into the idea of, maybe I'll put this car in park, feeling into the idea of, what does it really mean to be a badass? Like, what does it really mean to be a vibrational badass? And what I started feeling into was this idea that, right, like the real badass, right, the true badass thing is to be able to hold your center, right? The real badass thing is to be so fucking anchored in your light, in your truth, in your soul frequency, that nothing can rattle that, right? Tell me if you're feeling me with this, right? Because here's the thing, right? Do we not, let me know if you agree, do we not find ourselves going through life getting programmed with the idea that it's worthy if we self-sacrifice, right? The bigger fucking martyrs we are for other people's bullshit, the more rewards we get as children. I want every one of you to think about this. Those of you that identify as being a starseed or an empath or a way shower or a light worker, we're usually highly sensitive children, right? We go through life and we're highly sensitive. And what happens? We start receiving this program and this coding that we get rewarded, we get praised the more we martyr ourselves, right? The more we sacrifice ourselves. Give me a yes if you know that you have been shown that self-sacrifice gets you rewards, and that the people in your life fight against you if you dare be selfish and do what you need and put your needs first, right? There's this very inverted, distorted template over humanity. And it has us believing that we have to bend and mold and cater ourselves to everyone else, right? Anybody agree? Anybody feel that? And it's bullshit, because do you know that the origin of the word sin actually comes from a Latin word, and I don't remember what the Latin word is, but it means to reject the self. So if we think about the idea of sin and how that's been distorted through, religion trying to control us, when we think about what sin actually is, it's the rejection of the self. So why then does self-sacrifice, why are we taught that self-sacrifice is the way to be, and that putting yourself first is wrong, right? Because we're in an inverted matrix, and we're living in a reality that's been created to keep us under control, right? So I'm sitting here driving and I'm thinking about, well, what does it mean to be a badass, right? What does it mean to be a vibrational badass? And I know so many starseeds and healers and potent light workers that right now are getting caught up in the fight, the division, right? The duality, the polarity, fighting to try to convince people, fighting to try to get people to see the light or see the truth, fighting, swing, like letting their vibration get dragged down when someone else doesn't agree with them. Allowing other people's projections and accusations to bring their vibration down, right? That's not badassery, right? That's some old, outdated, upside down bullshit template that we are releasing. right? And I feel like what came through is that it's this warrior martyr template, that what is worthy, right? Fighting is worthy. Fighting is badass. Let me fight to prove how worthy I am. Let me struggle to prove how worthy I am. Let me make it a fight. Let me make it hard. When actually the most powerful thing any of us can do, are you guys feeling this? You're awfully quiet, right? Lauren, hell yeah. Jess, yeah. Jillian, yeah, right? Right? The most powerful thing any of us can do is know so fully in our heart center and be so embodied in our soul frequency and our soul truth that nothing can rattle that. Right? Think about that. Right now, there are people on the planet who are convincing themselves that they're full of hate and that they're racists, right? I don't think that most people are genuine racists at heart. I'm not saying that there's not some systems and some structures and some paradigms that we need to overhaul, but we are not inherently racist. We are beings of light. For fucking crying out loud, we are beings of light. At our heart and at our core, we are light beings of love, even if we've forgotten that. And right now, there's some beautiful souls walking around, spiraling down into shame and guilt and pain because they're convincing themselves that they are the oppressors, that they are racist. And I know that that's a charged topic right now, and I don't give a fuck because I know what is true in my heart. Right? And I know that what is true in my heart and what resonates as truth for me is going to resonate with truth as some of you, for some of you, right? And what resonates as truth for any of us from person to person is going to be different. And it is not my job or my responsibility as a light worker or a healer or a starseed to drag anyone up out of the fucking frequency that they are living in. That is the warrior martyr template. Let me go sacrifice my energy and my vibration to try to save you all. Because what? My ego tells me that you can't do it yourself? Real talk, you guys. Real fucking talk. This is one of the most upside down inverted, like toxic bits in the coaching and healing grid, if you will. If you think about how every industry has like its own grid, and right now all of these grids and paradigms are being shaken up and purged, this is one of the ones within coaching and healing and self-empowerment, right? This idea that someone else who sees or understands has to like go into the trenches and drag out all the wounded because nobody gets left behind. We're not in the trenches. I mean, we are energetically and spiritually, right? There is a war going on for your mind and your soul and your light, but we're not fighting it in the traditional sense of war. This is an energetic war. There is an energetic fight happening right now. And you are, hey Jules, you are of no service to anyone if you are in that warrior martyr template, if you are running that warrior martyr program in your field actively, if that's your point of action, right? If you are acting from that warrior martyr template, you're only ceasing to perpetuate that people need to be saved. And nobody needs to be saved. That's the beautiful thing, right? We're all having our own experience. And if every single one of us can learn to start going within and shifting the things and healing the things and training and conditioning our vibration and moving towards our own vibrational badass center, that's how we're going to change the world, right? Being a vibrational badass doesn't mean we fight everything, right? It means that we are so anchored in what we know is truth that nobody else gets to sway us. All right, give me a yes, y'all. We'll wrap it up with this, right? Give me a yes if you have ever found yourself doubting yourself or questioning yourself based on somebody else's perspective or viewpoint or their experience, or you've had someone else tell you something about you, and you've found yourself like, am I that? Am I that? Now, I'm not saying it's not a good thing to question ourselves. Of course it is, right? I'm the queen of self-questioning. Like, this is what I do. This is my favorite thing to do, right? Because I love unpacking and I love doing this with my clients. But how many times have you convinced yourself or been swayed by somebody else into even doing, believing, buying into, acting a certain way? Like, have you ever found yourself with a new group of friends or going to a new school, and all of a sudden, like, everything you believe in sort of starts to shift and change? A lot of us are having this happen right now with political views, right? Like, I thought I'd be a lifelong Democrat. Man, I can't get far enough away from the Democratic Party right now, okay? I'm not going to make this political, but it's through our ability to go within and question what really resonates as truth for us that we're going to find our path to that vibrational badassery. That's how you get to soul embodiment, right? It's not by seeking out some guru outside of you that you think knows you better than you do, right? I'm not saying we don't work with teachers or coaches. Of course we do. Of course we read books, take the class, do the, enroll in the course, get the coach, go to the yoga class, let yourself be taught by someone who knows what they're doing. But just like in a yoga class, perfect example, right? I said it tonight in my yoga class. If your body is telling you you want to take this deeper or back out a little bit, or you need something a little bit different, listen to your body. Yes, I'm here to teach you, but you always want to listen to your body. It's like that with everything. We have been so conditioned to sacrifice our inner knowing in favor of what some other person, expert outside of us, is telling us is true. And then we wonder why we're going through life torn, with knots in our belly, with our energy split, right? Why we want to fight everything. It's because deep inside on a soul level, we're tired of selling ourselves out, right? We're tired of being martyrs. We're tired of that self-rejection, aka sin, right? Sin isn't, oh, I cursed, or oh, I got upset and angry at somebody and I acted silly. Like, that's not sin. Sin is rejection of self. And self is light, right? Self is illumination. Self is what you feel when you go into meditation and you feel your light body expanding. Self is what you feel when you've done a really awesome yoga class and you feel just beautifully aligned afterwards, right? After you have a nice hot bath and you've just connected and cleared and dropped into your body, right? Self is that feeling you connect with when you're out on your favorite hiking trail and you just feel open at your heart. Self is that feeling that you connect with after you've been connecting with a dear friend and you've had a heart to heart and you feel open and you feel held and you feel witnessed and you feel supported and you feel like you're supporting them, right? That's self. Self is light. Self is expansion, abundance, health. And we have been taught and programmed over and over and over again to reject the self in favor of what? What somebody else tells us we are? What some model tells us we have to look like? What some magazine told us we had to wear? What some TV show told us we had to act like? What some doctor says is best for our health? Again, I'm not saying we don't ever listen to professionals, but when everything in us, our resonance, is telling us something, we need to listen to that too, right? I want to ask you all, why is it that a mother with her mother's intuition and her mother's instinct that is making decisions that she feels are best for her child, why is that mother the one that's like ostracized and looked at like the weird, right? Where everybody else who's like following the program 100% is like they're praising each other, right? Y'all feeling this? Oh, hi Gina. Yay. And so I want you to think upon this, right? Like, why are the people who can think for themselves being looked upon right now as, wrong or bad or dangerous? We really have to start reflecting on this, right? And we have to start reflecting on in any moment. So let me give you all some practical things you can use as you go forth from this. What you can do in every single now moment, right, is when you receive information about something, when you read something, when you watch something, when somebody tells you something, you experience something while you're out and about, right? If you can take a moment to breathe into your body and like breathe into your belly, let yourself drop out of your mind and ask yourself, how does this feel for me? Like, does this resonate as truth? And I did a whole video yesterday on resonance, so go check that out if you want to know more about that. Because depending on where your frequency is at in any given moment, different truths are going to resonate with you. That's why I'm not sitting here saying that things don't exist, right? I'm aware that in certain people's realities, certain things exist. There are certain things that other people will insist are real that don't exist in my reality. In my reality, we get to be, do, and have whatever we want. We create our own reality. I'm in charge of my vibration. I'm in charge of my emotions. I'm in charge of how much money I allow to flow into my field. I'm in charge of what kind of experiences I have, right? And I am a child of the divine, as are all of you. That's the reality I'm living in. I understand that not everybody is living in that reality yet, right? And we all have a choice about what reality to live in. But what I really want to pass on to you all is that we have to shift from expecting the external world to change into the reality we want without being willing to do the internal work to match the reality. That's how we change the external world, right? So it's the warrior martyr that would have us fighting and self-sacrificing and just, right? Like, is anybody else tired of trying to convince people to see their point of view? Like, this is the message, right? The download is just like, just stop. You don't have to convince anybody. You don't have to save anybody. You no longer have to sacrifice yourself. I am giving you full permission. The divine is giving you full permission to live your life and be in whatever vibration and frequency you choose to be in, regardless of what everybody else is doing. If they want to be over there being angry and victimized, let them. If they want to be over there being full of hate and negativity, let them. It's not your job to save them. It's not your job to shift them. Your only job is taking radical responsibility for your vibration, your frequency, and the energy you are bringing to the world. So coming back to those practical tips, you receive information, pause for a moment, ask yourself, how does this feel for me? Does this feel like truth? And let yourself feel it for a minute. You'll feel the twinge in your belly or the contraction, right? You'll feel the tension when something doesn't feel like truth. Yes, your mind may be like, oh, no, but I have to believe it because so-and-so said it was true. So, right? But when you keep coming back to something, what you will notice, right? And you can start playing with this. What you will notice is that you will keep coming back to something because you're trying to convince yourself that it's fact or it's true. But for some reason, you keep coming back to it. And every time you come back to it, your body and your gut is like, something's not right about this. Something's not right about this. But then what does your mind do? Your mind gaslights you and is like, no, it's fine. There's nothing to worry about. Everybody's saying it. If everybody believes it, it's got to be true. If Dr. Fauci said it, it's got to be true. If the government said it, it's got to be true. Right? And we do what our parents did to us for years, right? Making us wrong for our feelings. Anybody else have that experience as a kid? Being made wrong for what you feel? Being told that what you were perceiving wasn't accurate or wasn't real, right? That's how we get taught to sell out our resonance. And I'm going to tell you all right now, the most powerful thing you can do for yourselves is get started on conditioning yourself to listen to your resonance. It will be the most powerful guide you have over these next 6 months because it's going to get crazier before it gets calmer. I can promise you all. We are in, and I'm not even talking about the third dimensional manifestations of what's happening. Energetically, we are being shaken up and forced to evolve. The third dimension is closing in on itself. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. We are being forced to evolve. So you can choose to consciously take that journey. Come on, take my hand. Come take the journey with me. Or continue to resist and do it unconsciously. Right now, light workers all over the planet are transmuting some of the most massive collective densities that have been plaguing humanity, that have been in the human consciousness for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. This stuff is being purged in different ways by all kinds of light beings and light workers who came here for this purpose, right? Each and every one of us has a duty and a responsibility to develop our own resonance and start taking responsibility for our own vibration, right? You guys with me? Are you feeling this? Give me a yes if you're feeling this, right? Good reminder, right, Jules? So what I'm encouraging you to do today, right? If you're feeling this and you're like, okay, yeah, warrior martyr template. Yeah, I totally feel that. Totally done with that. The way to begin to conditioning yourself out of it is recognizing when you're in that, right? Recognizing when you are dropping into that, either needing to fight everything or being the martyr and sacrificing yourself, right? Come back to that self before you do anything. If you can start conditioning yourself to coming back to self, coming back to your light, your illumination, this is what self-realization is all about, right? The yogis knew it, Yogananda knew it, Babaji knew it, Jesus knew it. And that self isn't the self that lives up here. It's not the self, right? This is a whole nother video, but I'm going to mention it. The self that is you is not the self that comes from your unhealed trauma or your pain or your fear. The self I'm speaking to you is the self that is waiting for you to connect to it and acknowledge it in your heart chakra. The self that is so beautiful and so radiant and so expansive. The self that you knew you were when you were a little kid before the world beat you up, chews you up, knocks you around, and spit you out. It's the little soft self that you're hiding inside behind all those layers of defensiveness, identities, walls, the self that you're just trying to protect. That self is the most powerful aspect of you. I promise. And in letting that come out, acknowledging it within yourself and letting yourself be that and be so anchored in that, you will be the most baddest ass badass on the planet, in the galaxy. You guys, if you're still with me, this is what you came here to do, right? You're starseeds, you're light workers. It's your time. This is what you came here for, right? We chose certain paradigms and programs to be the ones to transmute them. And here we are, we're doing it. Only we forgot. And sometimes we're falling on our faces while we do it. So I just want you all to know you are right where you need to be. You are doing it. Just take the steps to connect with and develop your resonance. Anchor into your resonance, anchor into your truth. If you want help, if you want to do some quantum timeline alchemy sessions, if you want to come and join the Vibrational Badass coaching program, reach out to me. I am here to serve. Send me a message. We'll have a chat. We'll talk about how I can assist you. The point is that there's no need to be doing this alone at this time. You guys, clearing programs, clearing templates, ascending into 5D is not a cakewalk. It is not all rainbows and butterflies, right? It's purging, it's vomiting energetically, it's clearing all the density, and you don't have to do it alone. There are people out there who can help you. So if this message resonates with you and you're ready to come back to yourself and come back to your truth and be the vibrational badass so anchored in that truth and that light and that illumination, reach out to me and let's have a chat. All right. I love you all. I'm sending you so much love. I see all of you at the core of your being. I know how beautiful you are. I know how powerful you are. I see the purity of your hearts. I know that you are pure light beings who just want to live a beautiful life of harmony and that you want to create a world of equality and love. So let's do it. Be wildly you, have it all, and I will see you all soon. Sending so much love.